Always follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
This hour sponsored by Better. Better picks a daily fantasy sports app where your sports knowledge turns into real cash fast. Download Better. Visit better.app now. BETR. Sign up today. Get free money and no deposit necessary.
All right, let's head out to the Progressive guest line to begin the hour as VSiN host Mike Somich joins the program now. Also a part of Sharp Money with Patrick Maher, a podcast here at the VSiN Network, a podcast that comes out every single Monday and Thursday. Go check it out, like it, subscribe, and give it 5 stars. That would be great. Mike, good afternoon. Thanks for the time as always. How you been, pal?
You got it, man. I appreciate the plug there. Yeah, I had a 3-0 night yesterday on that podcast. So hopefully more people pay attention and get some more winners out there.
Very nice. We haven't even talked about this game much on the show. We will coming up. Looking at the numbers again today, like how is Pittsburgh going to move the football against this Vikings defense? And the Vikings now, the look ahead here was Pittsburgh minus 2.5, and that has completely flipped. Do you still like the Vikings?
Yeah, I still like the Vikings here. The more I dive into this, the more that I just favor this Vikings side. Offensively, you get Addison back in this spot. I thought Mason was awesome for them last weekend. I think they have success running the football. And look, I get it. People don't want to back Carson Wentz, but he's fine. And this is like KOC, Kevin O'Connell, one of those guys that can just kind of remote control the quarterback. We saw it last year for Sam Darnold, put the confidence back in him. And you've got weapons all over the place here. You've got a solid tight end in Hawkinson. You've got those 2 wide receivers, and Jefferson and Addison will both be back. I mentioned Mason. He's solid. And this is a Vikings team that's starting to get healthy as well. The injury report on the defensive side last week broke positive for them against Cincinnati. They didn't lose anyone additionally. And you get to face a Steelers team here who there's nothing they do well. It was all the turnovers last week. They got outgained by nearly 200 yards, out first down by almost 10 for the Patriots. If you go back, you watch the Seattle game, Seattle blew the doors off of them. The storyline was that missed the kick that ends up in a touchdown for Seattle. But the whole game, they just completely dominated. And that Jets loss doesn't look great, or Jets win doesn't look great from week 1 either. I think the Vikings take care of business over in Europe here. I do like some Hawkinson props if you want to go that direction. But to me, the best bet here, Vikings lay the 2.5.
All right, Mahomes is 5-1 against Lamar. They're getting Worthy back. What do you think of the big matchup here where the loser's in trouble with the Chiefs and Ravens?
The loser is in trouble here. And if the Chiefs had any semblance of a running game, I would think the Ravens are in trouble as well. But the way to get to this Ravens defense is on the ground. I look at the backfield and Pacheco and Hunt, they don't scare me at all, man. Mm-hmm. There's nothing there that has any juice for this Chiefs backfield, which means that it's all up to Mahomes, up to the wide receivers. Mm-hmm. Kelsey, he looks old. He looked old last year. He looks older this year. Yeah, you get Worthy back, but dude couldn't raise his hand over his head 2 weeks ago. Are we sure this is just going to work out wonderfully for him in this spot? I think until we have Rice back in this lineup, this Chiefs offense struggles moving the football. And I think you're going to get a pretty pissed off Ravens team in this spot. After that game against Detroit, you've got Henry, who fumbled the football 3 times in 3 games. I think he's going to run pretty angry here. And I'll take the discount I think I'm getting because this is an Arrowhead. It feels like this is the old school 3-point home field advantage. And it's been kind of debunked that it's now more of the 1.5 to 1.8. I feel like this should be Ravens 3.5. So I'm happy to jump on the Ravens laying the 2.5 in Kansas City here.
All right, let's go to some totals now that you like this week 4 NFL action. I look at this Titans-Texans game. I really wish the number started with a 4. It doesn't, but I still think it's kind of high, right? Texans, their offense appears to be completely shattered, but the defense, and you called this before the season, you thought they were the best defense in football. Even with some injuries here, they're playing lights out. Where are the points coming from in this one, Mike?
That's a great question. I have no clue. If they come from anywhere, I would guess Houston, but Houston currently has a 0% red zone conversion rate into touchdowns. Oh. That's not very good. Oh. And you flip over to this Titans side, and the offensive line is just atrocious. And now you have Cam Ward, who was on the injury report for an ankle on Wednesday. That's really not a great sign when you got the edge rushers at Houston coming to town. Ridley has looked awful so far this year. I'm not sure how the Titans really move the football effectively against a Texas team that has a pretty stout run defense here. And you flip it around and what does Houston do well in offense? CJ Stroud has completely regressed. They can't really run the football. You got Nico Collins out there, but even he is struggling this year. His one explosive play came on a blown coverage for a 50-yard touchdown. I realize, I would love this at 40.5, which was the opener. It got down to 38.5, 38 in some places. It got bet up to 39.5. I took advantage of that and just went under the 39.5 that's available out there in the market.
Well, I love this Green Bay defense. I've said it several times. So they could have been there all day. Cleveland was not going to score a touchdown unless Green Bay handed them the ball, and they did. Put it first and goal with the Love interception. So a lot of things that they can't do offensively. So Browns team total under against Detroit?
Yeah, I'm going right back to the well on the Browns team total here. It was 17 last week. We played the under. It's rocking chair win, even though they end up winning the football game with the Browns here. I was really impressed with Detroit's edge rushers against the Ravens. They were able to consistently generate pressure on both sides. It's not just Hutchinson there. And the defense was able to stop the run as well. I think this Browns team has struggled moving the football. And I think the Browns defense at least slows the Lions down, which means that we're going to have to grind it out a little bit more. You're going to have a few longer possessions for the Lions, which takes time off the clock here. It's another team on the Brown side where I just don't see where the points come from. I don't see them being very explosive. You can find a 17 minus 110. Don't mind that. I'll take under 17.5. I'll lay a little extra juice minus 135 on the team total for the Browns here.
Okay. You must be buying into this Colts offense and the Rams offense. I mean, they've been really, really good so far. Both teams have been through 3 games, and that Rams defense looked awesome last week for 2.5 quarters thereabouts until it kind of fell apart and allowed the Phillies passing game to finally get kickstarted. So this total's not high enough in your opinion here?
No, I don't think so. I think we should be sitting around the 51.5 number. 51 is a key number from a totals perspective here in the NFL. We've been toggling between 49.5 and 50 in this spot. I like the Colts offense. I think the Colts offense is something that is repeatable at this point. You've got Shane Steichen, who calls a great game. They're able to scheme players open. Jonathan Taylor looks awesome in the backfield. I like the weapons. You've got Pierce. You've got A.D. Mitchell can go deep. I like Pittman as a control guy. You've also got Tyler Warren, who's been awesome for them and off the injury report this week, which is a big deal for that offense. And it's all bolstered by a top 5 offensive line, which means that the Rams pass rush, which is their best piece of their defense, should be held down a little bit here in this case. If we're able to give Daniel Jones time in the pocket, I think he's successful getting the ball out to his weapons on the outside. And you turn this around, and the one thing I don't buy is the Colts being a top 10 defense. Right now, they're right around number 11 in the NFL, ironically tied with the Rams here at that spot. I don't think this is a top 15 unit long run. I think that they've been more of a beneficiary of the schedule that they've played so far. You had that Miami just clunker in week 1. They saw Denver in week 2. Bo Nix has not been good. Week 3, they caught a break on the defensive side as well against the Tennessee Titans team. They still put up 20. I think the Rams are going to be able to move the football effectively. I think this turns into a track meet. We go up and down the field and go over that 49.5 total.
All right, props now, my friend. Does the Dart news hurt or help our futures on Scatterboo at 80-1? And what do you make of Scatterboo now? We got the news with Tracy out, and Scatterboo should be a big part of this offense moving forward.
I think that's a good question. I think it probably hurts it just because of the fact that quarterbacks do like to give this award to quarterbacks as Offensive Rookie of the Year. But that being said, and I think this is a fascinating game because I'm not a big narrative guy. Like, you got to have some narrative inside of it, but the narrative around the Giants here and the difference that the difference in the way the locker room talks about Jackson Dart compared to how they talked about Russell Wilson makes me feel like you're going to get that first game bump here from the rest of the team. Now, is Dart good enough? That's a completely different question. We'll find out on Sunday. Very tough spot against this Chargers defense that's been excellent so far this year. But I do think you see a highly motivated Giants team coming into this game because they wanted this change to happen as well, they being the locker room there. But I love Scatterboo in this spot. Specifically, I like his reception props, sitting at 20.5 right now. I think he ends up being one of the bigger targets for this Giants team against the Chargers. This Minter defense wants to play too high, wants to keep everything in front of you. That means tight ends. That means check downs. Those are the type of players that you're going to see get more opportunities, more targets. Scatterboo fits right into that. He got 8 targets last week, 6 catches, went for 60-plus yards through the air. I think he is another heavy target for Jackson Dart, who is going to want to check the ball down, going to want to be efficient and take what this defense gives him. So I like the Scatterboo receiving props quite a bit. Like I said, sitting at 20.5, I don't hate the idea of laddering him up. If you want to go as high as 50, I think Scatterboo could be one of the leading receivers this week for the Giants.
Wow, very good. So stop me if you've heard this before, but there's a good chance the Cowboys are going to be playing catch up on Sunday night. Could be getting absolutely buried. That means bye-bye running game. We got to throw the football at Dak Prescott. There's no CD Lamb. So which player do you want to target here for the Cowboys?
Yeah, this is interesting because everyone's talking about Jake Ferguson, and rightfully so. Got a boatload of targets the last 2 weeks. If you want to look at receptions for Ferguson, 6.5, I don't mind looking toward the over there. But if you want to look for downfield plays, I think the guy you're looking at here is Turpin. I was really disappointed in the Dak Pickens connection last week after we saw CeeDee Lamb go down. I thought you just feed Pickens at that point, and that's not what happened. I thought Turpin got more opportunities down the field. He's sitting at 30.5 receiving yards. I think he's got a shot to have a big game here. Let's take over the 30.5 number. I think you can go all the way up to 70. And at 70, you're getting 7-1 on Turpin receiving yards. So I like the idea of Turpin having a big game here. I think he gets to pick up the slack because he's been in that offense and because Dak trusts him more than Pickens. The key is he's going to have time. If Dak's on his back, he's not going to throw to anybody.
Yep, very good. I love it. In like 45 seconds here, you like two others too. You like McConkey to go over and McCaffrey to go over as well. Are those latterable in your opinion, or no, just straight up play their receiving yards prop and call it a day?
I don't think McConkey is simply because of the other targets that you've got in the wide receiver position, but he's got a great matchup. Giants bad against slot receivers. McConkey should have a big game, go over 63.5 there. And McCaffrey, I wouldn't ladder too much, but he's the beneficiary here if Pearsall is out. I like the reception yards over 45.5 here for McCaffrey. He's had two big days in the passing game the last 2 weeks. I think you see another one on Sunday.
Yeah, and oh, by the way, Jacksonville, terrible against slowing down running backs in the air as well. So there is that. Again, get Mike's new podcast with Patrick Maher. It's called Sharp Money. They record it and it comes out every single Monday and Thursday. Don't forget the contest show every single Saturday night live right here from Circa. That's at 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific time. It's must-watch television, in my opinion. Mike, as always, that was great. Thanks so much for the time. Best of luck.
You got it, guys. Fun Survivor Week. Excited to see what the percentage is on Buffalo.
No doubt. And we'll tell you about a big injury in the Dublin game next.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Welcome back. It is Follow the Money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. We are live in downtown Vegas, Circa Resort and Casino. For those who don't know, Pauly and I also host the Sunday morning VSiN Pro Football Tailgate Show. That starts at 9 o'clock Eastern. We go until noon. And for the first time this year, Pauly, we're going to have a live game overseas. This is going to come at you from Dublin, Ireland. And it is the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. So we'll be updating you with live numbers as we talk about the game on Sunday morning. Also, we have great guests during that show as well. We have Warren Sharp on twice. We have Dr. David Chow on after the actives and inactives are announced for the games that day. And John Hansen, the guru, also comes on to give player prop betting advice as well. Here's the big injury. It's official in this game. Andrew Van Ginkel will not play for the Vikings.
Yep.
Had a major impact in a limited amount of snaps last week from Minnesota. He's a complete playmaker. I love the dude. They will be missing him. But overall, still, Pauly, this defense has been phenomenal for Minnesota to begin the year.
Really like the Vikings here. I trust Wentz with O'Connell and how well they played last week. We love our guy Mason as well. This Cleveland defense, Pittsburgh defense continues to get gashed, giving up big play after big play. Number one in the league with 20-yard plus plays allowed through the air. The favorites in international games are 36-13-1 straight up going back. And last year, when Flores blitzed Rodgers, he was 5 of 14 with an interception, had the pick six in that game. Now he's complaining about he didn't like that they flew out Thursday night, and why didn't they fly out earlier? And he's got a big problem with that now, too.
I believe he's onto something there. I think teams should absolutely fly out early in the week. And hasn't that been a track record? Well,
that you can argue that with getting acclimated, whatever. I think he was arguing he wanted to see the sights and take in the scenes.
Oh, is that part of the argument?
Yes. He wanted to go visiting some stuff.
He wanted to play tourists over there.
Yeah.
Well, let me give you this. So there was a major discrepancy in his passing yards prop for this week. I played under 213.5. Other books were showing like 202.5 against this Minnesota defense. By the way, DVOA, Minnesota is number 2 overall against the pass. They're second overall on defense. Aaron Rodgers so far this year is tied for the shortest amount of time to throw when he drops back to pass. 2.61 average completed air yards, lowest in the league. 5.4 average intended air yards, lowest in the league. Air yards to the sticks.
Yes.
He throws on average 4.5 yards behind the sticks. By far the worst number in the league. Kyler Murray is second at negative 3.1. Vikings against number one wide receivers. 13th overall. They're number one versus the pass in DVOA. I stand corrected. I had second. They're number one. They're fifth against wide receiver number twos, eighth against wide receiver number threes, and they are elite guarding tight ends and running backs out of the backfield. So having said that, like where are the spots? I trust that defense way more than I trust the Pittsburgh offense.
Yeah.
So if he's going to be throwing short and nothing's going to really be there for like Warren out of the backfield, if it's not going to be there for Jonnu Smith at tight end as well, it's going to have to be like DK Metcalf. And I don't think he's going to be able to beat this Brian Flores-led defense on his own.
What's going on here? Second worst rushing attack? Dink and dunk offense? No big plays? And then you've been so bad defensively. I
think that lack of talent is finally catching up with this team.
Yeah.
Also, consider what opposing quarterbacks have thrown for so far against Minnesota's defense. Caleb had 210 yards, 6 yards per attempt. Penix threw for 135 yards. Now, he never really had to throw in that game, but it was only 6.4 yards per attempt. And think about this. Like Jake Browning, we think he's better than last week. In fact, that was probably his worst game in his career by a mile. He had 140 yards, 5.2 yards per attempt. That game was a blowout in the first quarter. And he could never get anything going in the passing game.
Yeah.
To me, they allow negative 0.4 passing EPA per play, easily the best in football. And they allow 22 yards per drive. Cleveland's number one. Minnesota's right behind him.
Can read my article every week. Boswell did not make the cut. It was weird last week where there wasn't a field goal attempt.
Yeah, I know.
I don't, you might say, well, they're going to have problems moving the ball, set up for three, all that. I don't know. I think Boswell over 1.5 could be tough in this game. And maybe they fall behind and they can't do that. That's the other angle,
sure,
too. So
sure. One thing I wanted to point out in the Saints-Bills game, by the way, Bills down to like 15.5-point favorites. So some money here on New Orleans.
All right, well, good luck. Biggest dog they've been since the mid-'70s.
Okay, so they are running, this might be, factor this in for the total. The Saints and the Bills are each averaging 68.7 plays per game. That is tied with Dallas most in the league. And the Saints are running a play every 25.6 seconds. That is fastest in the league by more than 2 seconds compared to any other team. The Bills are I think 8th, so they're closer to the bottom. But this has been, people like fantasy people have been calling this fast break offense in basketball and a team that takes a lot of threes. And they're also super high on guys like Chris Olave, just because if they're going to be getting and running 65-plus plays every game and running so fast, and they're going to be behind, if Rattler can complete passes, they have to go somewhere.
Everyone knows he's 0-9 straight up. He's also 1-8 ATS. So that was the embarrassment last week in Seattle. They have been out. Here's a first quarter for you. They've been outscored 30-0 in the first quarter this season. Cleveland also hasn't scored in the first quarter.
Is that right?
And again, this is going to piss off Uncle Lou. Buffalo has won the turnover battle 25 games in a row. How does this happen?
It won't stop.
Eight games in a row, they haven't turned it over. I mean, it's just this luck thing. They were plus 24 last year for the season. And you're right, it continues. Well, they play clean, but the other team gives it to them repeatedly. 25 in a row, that's nuts.
I think a lot of it boils down to the lack of interceptions being thrown by Josh Allen. Right? And then if they
that's a big key, yeah.
The fumble luck will maybe be on their side. Either they don't fumble, or they are recovering. The other team's fumbles can factor into that. In this Browns-Lions game, one thing I'll point out, because the Lions are touching 10, they have now been for a couple of days. Detroit's last two opponents overall, the Bears are 24th overall in defensive DVOA. The Ravens 25th. Totally different animal this weekend.
Yeah, I want to see what this is going to look like. Because you have to love this Cleveland defense. But I want to see what this high octane. Detroit has been perfect for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
I want to see if they can slow them down, because you're allowing 2.29 yards per carry. What you did to Burrow, what you did to Green Bay, it's been impressive. Now they can't score either. So you got the 44.5 of a total. They've also lost 9 in a row on the road. And how good was that pass rush Well, you sack Lamar Jackson 7 times? Come on.
That was fierce, man.
Well, Flacco can't move. I mean, he might get carried out after this game, or during the game, rather.
They're probably going to have to go to a different quarterback. I wouldn't be surprised. But so what defense so far compares closest to Cleveland that Detroit has played? Clearly, it's week 1 in Green Bay. When Detroit got shut down, Packers are number 1 overall, DVOA, first in pass, 6th against the rush. The Browns' rush defense. This is why Paul Charchian came on the show yesterday, had a beautiful breakdown on betting David Montgomery under, I think it was 49.5 at the time. So the Browns against the rush, number 1 in adjusted line yards, first in running back yards allowed, 4th highest stuff rate in the entire league, 2nd best at the second level, and number 1 overall in the open field. So this, I mean, I think that's going to be a thing for pretty much the entire year and probably in this game as well. Goff is going to have to cover, and Goff's been awesome. And he's got the weapons. Amon-Ra St. Brown is fantastic, and the other guys that he throws to as well. But if they can't run the football whatsoever, Goff's going to have to cover a 10-point number probably in the air. A lot of that's going to have to come with him throwing the football.
Uh-huh.
So, by the way, he might be under pressure by Myles Garrett and some other guys as well.
Right.
How about
That's
this?
right.
A 3-team money line parlay. This is a survivor question. Bills, Texans, Lions is about minus 165. You could play against all 3 of these teams and then play a 3-team money line parlay and actually probably hope that it loses. Because if one of those 3 teams are bounced, you're going to open up a big path. It's $1.65. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm a little early with that. That's more of a conversation probably around week 8.
I think the Packers will be popular, and I think the Chargers will be popular.
All right, let me give you some numbers here at vsin.com as well. You can get this when you click on sports, go to NFL. It's the Opta AI player prop projections. Carson Wentz is projected to go under 212.5 passing yards by almost 16 yards. They are projecting Josh Allen to go under 216.5. Joe Flacco is projected to go over by 11. Calvin Austin is projected to have 49.4 receiving yards. His prop number is 35.5, so that goes over per their numbers by almost 15 yards. And Calvin Ridley projects for 66.3 yards. DK's number is 46.5. That's a big difference. And Opta AI at vsin.com also projecting Amon-Ra St. Brown for 87 yards. His prop is about 67 for the game.
Better Picks, a daily fantasy app where your sports knowledge turns into real cash fast. Here's how it works. Download the Better app, pick more or less on your favorite player stats, and if your pick hits, it wins. You win, right now. New users get a free $10 for signing up. No deposit required. Make a deposit. You can earn up to $200 in bonuses. Head to betr.app. Better. Download Better in the Apple or Google Play Store and use promo code VSiN for your free money and deposit bonus today.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
McIlroy barely missed a putt for birdie. I believe that would have given the Europeans in this matchup group the hole, but he is they're even right now, and they're in a commercial break at the Ryder Cup, but the Europeans still lead the Americans right now 4-2, and we have 2 groups that are being played. Heavy drama today. Beth Page, Black, Pauly. It'd be cool to go to a Ryder Cup one time in person. It'd be kind of fun. All right, so let me tell you about this. We've been mentioning this tool now on vsin.com with the Opta AI projections for player props. It is free right now, so I would advise you go check it out. I'm also going to tweet it out during the show as well. But this is one that they are telling us, Pauly, their numbers have a superstar going way under his prop this weekend. And it's in the marquee game on Sunday. Baltimore playing at the Chiefs. The Opta AI tool projects Derrick Henry to rush for 61 yards. His prop now was 84.5 this morning when I was checking it out right before the show.
Wow, I think he's motivated to go off in light of he's let the team down in 2 of the games, putting it on the ground, and fumbled in all 3. And he doesn't have an explanation for it. I think he has a big game, but it's going to be interesting to see what this Kansas City offense looks like as you get Worthy back. but they were begging to get beat by the Giants. Wilson wouldn't take advantage.
Sure.
But now you're getting Worthy back to see the difference that makes. But they don't look like the same team. And there's other than a couple shots down the field of Thornton, no running game to speak of as well, like Somich talked about. So I'd love to see him drop to 0-3 or 1-3. But the other thing is how Mahomes has owned Lamar. 6-0 ATS first half, 5-1 straight up in these meetings going back. To come in Monday and think one of these teams is going to be 1-3, that's incredible.
There's also this. Warren Sharp tweeted this out earlier today.
Yeah, very good.
The referee for this game is Clay Martin. I take this with a grain of salt, maybe, but
did he have an explanation?
I never saw him. I never saw the thread. Maybe he had one. I couldn't click on it. It would not expand on it for me for some reason. But anyway, the Chiefs are 6-0 when Clay Martin is their head ref. Since 2020, the Ravens are 0-3. So you have that. I'm not betting Derrick Henry because the Chiefs just pretty much neutralized Saquon Barkley and Spagnola's too good. I think Lamar is the guy who actually has a good game here.
Not bad.
So another prop here. So his passing yards prop is actually not that high for this game, but Opta AI projects him for 266. It's 224.5. He threw for 273 in week 1 last year. And in the playoff loss, when they only scored 10 points at home the year before that, he threw for 272 yards in that game. 224.5 is, I think, absolutely achievable in a game where I think they can slow down Derrick Henry. And they have so many weapons for him to throw the ball to.
Yep. And if they're not going to get Pacheco or Hunt going, why not another game from Mahomes? 25 yards, he's $1.20. Because he's been so good running the ball as well. I do like, I put it in the article, I do like Butker over 1.5 made field goals.
Okay.
I think they'll move the ball. I also think that some drives will bog down. Could be a high-scoring game. And you can, other than extra points, you can trust this guy with a big leg. And I think him making 2 field goals should be doable in this game for Kansas City.
Now, how about Somich coming on and talking about the running game for the Chiefs? And then it was also Paul Charchian yesterday. Charch was just, he went off about Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco.
Yeah. How
they both just look, they're terrible. And it probably won't matter how many guys are going to be missing for Baltimore here on defense.
Thinks it might be over for Pacheco.
Yeah, like I don't want to go that far because that defense got absolutely gashed on Monday night. Now that's the Lions running attack we're talking about, which is a major difference between what we're going to see against the Chiefs, obviously. But I think this Chiefs team I think the window is done. I know they're getting the guys back like Worthy this week and Rashee Rice as well, but I don't like them.
Well, what do you want to do with New England? Because you can't play Stevenson anymore. He keeps fumbling, and he fumbled at the goal line. And then they brought Gibson in, and he fumbled. So when are they going to get Henderson a big dose of carries here?
Well, if not now, what are they waiting for?
If he doesn't get the ball now, it's not. You can't play Stevenson. He's been doing it his whole career. And you turn the ball over 5 times. So, number one, they're on an 0-5 ATS run as favorites. All this hype with this team, and they haven't lived up to it. You're catching the Panthers at the right spot, though, smelling themselves, coming off the blowout win. Right. Bryce Young is 1-14 straight up on the road. Vrabel was ticked off. They had the long practices. They went to late night one of the games, and the emphasis about let's take care of the ball and stop with the fumbles. I think you get a good performance here out of the Patriots, and they win and cover against Carolina. But to me, it has to be, let's get Henderson involved in the rushing attack, and he's got to get most of the carries here. Because Stevenson shouldn't even play at this point. No,
God, no. So I don't want to lay the points, but I think I'm actually okay thinking about using New England in Survivor.
Well, that's stepping out.
Well, because all things right considered, right? I don't think I'm going to use New England very many times this year. I think that they were completely overrated coming into the season. I don't think they're a very good football team.
Yep.
However, I think the Panthers are terrible, and it was such a great spot for them last week because Atlanta, coming off the Sunday night game, they played awesome on defense. They just blew out the Vikings on the road, and then they go and play at Carolina where they were against a divisional team on the road, laying like 6 points, which is like bananas to me. But anyway, it's not like the Panthers destroyed them and had 500 yards to 200, and it was just all Panthers up and down the field all day long. They averaged 4 yards per play, and they had a little over 240 overall. And now there's no doubt, Paul, what you said I think is true. Feeling really good going on the road. They're probably thinking, well, this is absolutely now a winnable game, which they should be thinking about that. But I think it's a good time to come back and definitely play New England in a like a survivor type format, or if you want to do like money line parlays.
Hunter Henry was great last week.
He was.
I imagine they could get him going too against this Carolina defense. Good rapport there with May, and I like May longest rush over in this one.
So
as
do
well.
I. Well, let's be honest here. They should have won that game by probably 10 points last week.
Yes, absolutely. Yep.
Okay, I just talked about Barkley struggling against the Chiefs, so I'll point that out now as we get into this Buccaneers game. Running backs against the Bucs so far this year, week 1, Bijan Robinson, 12 carries, 24 yards. Tyler Algier, 10 for 24. Monday night, week 2, Nick Chubb with a long run, by the way. Still stayed way under his prop. He had 43 yards. Last week, the Jets, Breece Hall had 21 yards. Braylon Allen had 30. Barkley's prop still as high as 81.5. Barkley had 60 against Dallas on 18 carries, 22 for 88 against the Chiefs, and 18 for 46 against the Rams. Tampa Bay has the second best DVOA against the rush, right behind Cleveland. Adjusted line yards, 2.93 is the second lowest in football. Third fewest running backs allowed. Third in power success. Second best stuff rate. Third best in the second level. And the 11th best team in the open field. Opta AI, vsin.com projects Barkley for 69.82 yards. I was kind of hoping it would be higher, Pauly, like mid to high 80s, but I still think 81.5 is too high for him.
This one's tough.
Because you said this.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, you said this yesterday. Slow him down and then just have Hurts try to beat you in the air.
Yeah. 27th in offense, 29th in passing attack. The big comeback last week. You have to respect this organization being the champs and the fact that when all these guys are healthy and play, they don't lose. But they've had Hurts' number as well and done well against them and have a 4-1 record. So they contain Barkley. What happens with the passing attack? Or was that a fluke and just they finally woke up in the second half against the Rams? It's going to be 90 degrees with 75% humidity.
Yeah.
But I got to see also who's playing for Tampa Bay. How many of these guys are able to go? Because you're down Evans, are you down Godwin? What are you looking like on the offensive line? How many of these guys are back, and what do you have offensively? 11 games in a row to shut the running attack down, and you can't give up 100 yards. So Barkley props under, and that's got to be the game plan to make Hurts beat you through the air, which maybe he can do. But there's been some bad losses here, although with some of those they've been shorthanded, and I can't explain. Well, I can. The team quit. What happened in that playoff loss a couple of years ago?
I think I'm going to stay away from pretty much everything to do with Jackson Dart. Although here's one more for you. vsin.com. Did you see this Opta AI, what they're projecting him for?
No, I didn't.
So his prop on the ground is around 34.5 rushing yards. They project him for 12.6.
Why so low? They're going to have...
Well, there's not an explanation. They just give you the numbers.
Yeah, he's going to be... They're going to run that shotgun stuff nonstop with Scatterbo, or I'm just going to put it in his belly, keep it, and run.
But like we don't have any data to go on, I guess. But if they fall behind, it's a rookie quarterback who this defense is pretty good, by the way. That secondary is really good.
Yeah.
Like things are going to be coming fast and furious at him. I would think like one of his first reactions is going to be, oh crap, I don't know what to do. I got to take off.
That's right. Longest rush. That'd be I think that's good for him. That could get there too. Let me look at that right now. 12.5 again.
That's a common number.
The NHL season drops October 7th. VSiN has you covered. Our NHL hub at vsin.com/NHL. Team previews, future insights, award markets, best season-long bets, new content and features rolling out all season. Stanley Cup contenders to props all in one place. Get ready for opening night. vsin.com/NHL.
Jerry Jones keeps pouring gasoline on the fire. His latest comments about Micah Parsons blew me away.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
We'll talk college football coming up top of the hour. What a great schedule we have. It starts tonight. Stanford Steve is going to join the program from ESPN. We'll do a double shot, 2 segments with him in the 6 o'clock Eastern hour, 3 o'clock out here on the West Coast. How about this number from Steve Makinen, vsin.com. He has the best pre-bye week and post-bye week numbers you're going to find anywhere. So we have 4 teams going into their bye this week. Green Bay is one of them. Here's his pre-bye week system, number 3 overall. Play on favorites of 7 points or more heading into their bye week. 78-6 straight up. 56, 26-2 ATS since 2002. Are you kidding me with that? 68.3%. They're laying 7. Green Bay is also 24-12 over the total as a road favorite since 2015. And I cannot believe that Jerry Jones, well, I can because this is what he loves, right? Who cares about Super Bowls when I can make stupid comments? But he told 105.3 The Fan in Dallas that Micah Parsons is great, but they, quote, didn't exactly win the Super Bowl with him. He continued, some plays look beautiful, but then other plays, especially running plays, you wish you had a different formation. To be trite, we lost games with Micah. End of quote. What's he doing?
Yeah. Why'd you re-sign Dak? Isn't Dak a big reason why you haven't won playoff games and you've lost playoff games turning the ball over? Green Bay's had their number. Total domination here, and I think they put it on them. And this is just not it's a horrible defense. Packers in a bad mood, and they're not going to be able to move it against this Green Bay defense as well.
Well,
remember the press conference was high comedy when you go back to think about what he said now. We're a better team right now when we made the trade. Got to stop the run, all that jazz, and how they put this together now. So, Schottenheimer, the head coach, all of it. It's here comes another loss on Sunday. It could be a blowout too. Should be a blowout.
Have you talked to TMI Ozzy, who lives in Dallas, about this game at all?
Well, he's been a Turpin guy. But
I'm glad I asked because that's where I was going to go with this.
He's a Turpin guy, but they're all expecting an ass kicking on Sunday night.
So did Ozzy say anything about climbing the ladder with Turpin?
Oh, he's big with that. Yeah, he said, "Chicks dig the long ball." That's his line. Always go for the big payout.
Mike Somich talked about that earlier this hour. If there's going to be a lateral guy, in his opinion, this week, it's got to be Turpin.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with him. I was disappointed when Lamb went down last week right away in the game. It never really turned into that big George Pickens Ferguson game. Ferguson was awesome. But if you're looking for another guy that's kind of like under the radar, like a Greg Dortch was last night, and he went over and climbed the ladder and hit like 3 or 4 of his numbers, then I think Turpin might be the guy in this game for the Cowboys. And Somich, I think, said, go up to maybe 70 yards at 7-1, I think was the number that he said?
Yeah.
All right. What else are you looking at for props this weekend?
DK's got some good stuff up there. Caesars as well, about first quarterback to throw a touchdown pass in the early games. They always list who's going to score the first touchdown.
All right.
This is first touchdown pass. Allen is 6-1. Goff is 7-1.
I would much rather have Allen.
Okay. And then you can also bet on who's going to throw the first interception in the early game. One of the early games.
What's Rattler minus $1.50?
Yeah. He is the 8-1, the third choice.
Okay.
Flacco's the chalk, Bryce Young, Rattler, and then Dart. Cam Ward's on that list too. Penix is 10-1.
Boy, Cam Ward might be a good one.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Ankle earlier this week.
Mm-hmm.
Popped up on the injury report, and that Houston defense, man.
Well, Brock Purdy is a go. He is in. Mac Jones is questionable. Brock Purdy is 6-1. He's 8. He's 6 at DK. He's 8 at William Hill Caesars to have the most passing yards. That is a low number.
So steps right in.
Wow, come on. Yeah.
And here you go, buddy.
No, there's a lot of value here. Mahomes 10, no. Geno's 10. I don't mind that. You can't run the ball and you're going against the Bears.
That could be a lot of points there.
Right. Love's 11, Stafford's 12.
Well, what's Caleb?
Caleb, 18.
18?
Yeah, he was right there last week. Puka is 5-1 for receiving yards.
Yeah.
Then you go Pearsall, London, McMillan, and Collins, 15-1.
What's Devontae Adams?
How about that drop off? He's 18.
Yeah, he's still getting a lot of targets. And Stafford missed him a couple times.
He did.
Adams could have had 125 yards last week.
Mm-hmm. You get an angry Derrick Henry, yes, but he's 8-1 most rushing.
Boy.
Taylor's 6, Barkley's 8, Henry 8, Cook is 9, Bijan's 10. That's got to be the game plan, right? I mean, Bijan should be fed all day with how bad Penix was, and that's how Atlanta's got to win. Don't want to air it out with him.
I can give you teams that are really, really bad in the air to running backs. The Bills are the worst. They allow 44.2 yards per game to running backs out of the backfield. So Kamara.
All right.
Who else would we look at there? Kendrick Miller to catch those yards. Jacksonville, they allow 42.5 yards to running backs in the air. That's why I look at this number for McCaffrey this week. But again, he's on pace for 142 catches this year. He's got 25 so far.
Mm-hmm.
But 46.5 for him? That is like juice to the gills, man.
Yeah. I've never seen this before. High-low. Highest scoring team on Sunday, the Bills are 3-1. Oh,
what's the short shot usually?
Oh, 8, 9,
8
higher than that.
Okay.
Used probably, 9, depending on the matchups. But that's, highest scoring game. Colts-Rams is 6-1. So are Saints-Bills. Kicking props, Aubrey, of course. Dallas longest made field goal, Aubrey over. Fairbairn over. This is wild. Caesars, he was plus money in the first couple weeks. They have now moved him to 2.5. Under -230. Fairbairn. Field goals.
But that's it. They're not offering like a lateral number there with him. It's just 2.5.
That's all they offer with that. That's interesting.
Okay.
But it's also unfortunate too. But that's just like Stations does, as we talked about during the break. Will Hill used to do it. Just give me every option. Just give me over 1.5, 1.5, 2.5. Let me ladder everything.
So I will point this out there for people listening to the show or watching who live in Las Vegas or Nevada, or if you're going to be coming to Las Vegas and maybe staying downtown. El Cortez, right down the street, they're a Stations book. So if you like to get involved, if you want to follow Pauly with the kicking props, I bet Dicker over 1.5 minus
like that, good.
30 today.
Like that.
So, but Stations offers every kicker. And as I just showed you, Pauly, they're offering everywhere from 0.5, 1.5, 2.5, and 3.5 field goals. And now I didn't tinker all the way. I don't know if they'll let you climb the ladder and parlay like over 2.5 with all these guys. But when I was messing around on it, they will allow like big parlays on guys to go over 1.5.
What's going on? Are we that, number one, are we that popular? Number two, are we that worried as a book about kicking props? That DraftKings doesn't even put them up now.
Yeah, I know.
As of now, as we're talking, that they're late Saturday or Saturday night, early Sunday morning to put them up. What? Like someone's going to the window, give me 5 dimes on Aubrey over 1.5. It's not happening.
They'll give it to a VIP player.
Yeah, but come on, guys.
Also, there is this. We might have a big rig showdown in LA between tight ends because the Colts, the DVOA against the position, they're 29th and they allow 60 yards per game. But how about the Rams, Pauly? And hello, Tyler Warren? Mm-hmm. The Rams allow 61 yards per game to the tight end position. And that total in the game is 49.5. Danny Dimes has been awesome so far. You would think that Warren will have plenty of opportunities to eat in this game.
Yep. Anytime touchdowns? I think the obvious one, Mason with the Vikings.
Well,
things have changed on Scatterbo. 2 weeks ago, he was plus 350. Now he's plus 110 to get it done against a good defense as well. I'll go a deep cut in that one. My Giant source says take a look at Jalen Hyatt. He can only run one route. Go. 12-1 anytime. And they love Dart, and they're going to take shots deep. Hyatt, 12-1 anytime touchdown. Shop it. Maybe that comes in.
Well, with that kind of information, I would also look to see if any books are going to offer longest reception. And right now I'm looking on the screen and I don't see, but maybe. But here's the deal too. One thing that you'll notice, some of these obscure players, like I'm still looking for at least 2 or 3 guys who are completely under the radar and books have not popped them yet. They'll probably put them up to very early tomorrow morning is my guess, like they finally did with Tyquan Thornton last week. And he blitzed by his number. So we'll have, I think, a lot more props on Sunday morning when we do the VSiN Tailgate show as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go ahead.
Good stuff there. Mm-hmm. Think you know sports? Start getting paid for it with Better Picks, the daily fantasy sports app, where your sports knowledge turns into cash. Sign up today. Get a free $10 and no deposit needed. When you do deposit, you can earn up to $200 in bonuses. Plus, for NFL kickoff, Better is giving you $40 for every friend you bring in. Download Better in the app or Google Play Store. Head to BETR.app, Better.app, promo code VSiN for your free money and deposit bonus.
Heavy college football coming up next. Stanford Steve on the program from ESPN and Game Day. So we'll get into what a schedule we have. We will get into the marquee games that we have. We'll talk about tonight's games as well and get his best bets for the weekend coming up next here on VSiN.